Before I turned 50, I could barely turn my head. What Top Fit Pros has done for me is to allow me to work out hard, to take care of the sore muscles, to actually work those knots out myself.
TopFitPros.com.
If you have hurting heels, plantar fasciitis, or shin splints, there are all kinds of remedies that are given out there. A lot of times, those different pain syndromes come from certain tight muscles in your legs, in your lower legs. Typically, those are muscles that start in your calves and go down through your heels and connect in the balls of your feet. So you don't need to know all that, but you do need to know that in order to keep those areas from hurting because of chronically tight muscles, you need to be regularly lengthening those muscles out. So typically when somebody has shin splints or hurting heels or plantar fasciitis, they're going to sit like this with their feet extended out in front. And that's a big mistake, because now what you've done is you've extended your feet this way. Instead of bringing them up that way, you've extended them that way. This is called plantar flexion. This is called dorsiflexion. In the plantar flexed position, all those muscles that create tension down in your heels and in your plantar fascia, which is underneath of the foot, up in the arch of the foot area, and up in your shins, those muscles are shortened. This is where they're lengthened. This is where they're shortened. Now, if you hold yourself throughout the day in a shortened position, then when you have to stand up and walk around, you're forcing them to be lengthened, but they're not ready for it because they've been used to being shortened all day. So if you sit like this all day long, then you're training those to be short. Just like if you're wearing high heels during the day, you're training those muscles to be short and that connective tissue to be short. And what does that do for you? It sets you up for pain when you put pressure on, because when you stand up now, not only are you forcing them to lengthen out, but you are putting weight on and you're forcing them to work. And so they're going to hurt if you have that problem. So how do you resolve that? Well, an easy way is to bring your feet back like this. So now they're more in a lengthened position. In fact, they're longer in this position with your feet tucked under than they would be if you were standing on them. But you're not putting weight on. So you're doing it in a comfortable position, and you can even lift up some and drop down if it's uncomfortable at first to be in this position. It's going to be awkward for you because you're used to being way out here, but try to get used to bringing your feet back in and allowing the toes to come up towards your knees. In fact, if you can lift your toes intentionally towards your knees regularly, that will help those muscles down in there to lengthen out. Now, if you want to look at the muscles on a diagram somewhere, that's great. Look up Posterior Tibialis or Tibialis Posterior. They're interchangeable in name. Flexor Digitorum Longus and Flexor Hallucis Longus. That's with a C, H-A-L-L-U-C-I-S, Hallucis. Those are muscles that will create those kinds of problems with your lower legs and your feet. So try to get in the habit of bringing those feet back under the chair or against the base of the chair, either one. Try to get in the habit of pulling your toes up towards your knees periodically while you're sitting, if you're sitting at a desk or sitting in a recliner or what have you. And that will help those muscles to lengthen out and help you to avoid that pain.
TopFitPros.com.